Hello, I'm Donna Arnold and I am the Story Hunter. Today I'd like to talk about a man who arrived in Sydney, Australia on the Second Fleet. That was 1790. So that makes it Australia, or Sydney, 2 years old. Wow, he certainly has some history. Now, he didn't arrive as a convict. He was a free man with his wife and children. So I think times are going to be pretty tough for him. So I've got some stories. One of them, straight up, is about how he sold a block of land for a keg of rum. So who does that and why do they do that? Anyway, a little bit more about this man, but first a little bit about me. I love searching the family tree. I just love finding out the information, bits of information, who it is. We have so much information these days, thanks to technology, and we're offered information such as, their log, the list on the manuscript, the list that's on the ship register of who arrived. There's census. The UK has been doing census for hundreds of years. You've got registers for births and christenings and weddings or bands. So the list goes on. There's lots of ways you can get information. You can create a story of your family or get an idea of what they were doing. You also find out where they came from, where they lived. And of course, my intention is to actually then travel and go to these places and with a bit of luck search the registers and see this town or village or where it was they came from. And of course with DNA, it's made it even more interesting now because I've recently found out that I've got ancestors in Lithuania. Gee, there's a reason to go to the Baltics now, I think. So anyway, so this is what I'm about. So I would like to help you with your family tree because I can sit there and I can watch that show, Who Do You Think You Are? For ages, repeat after repeat. It doesn't worry me because there's always new things that I learn and hear about because I didn't hear the first time around. I'm just in awe of everybody's history. It's not just mine. So if you need help, I'd love to help you. If you're stuck getting started, if you're just stuck and you've just dropped it because it's all too hard, all it needs is just one little step and then you can get going again. So that's the sort of thing that I like to do. It's like searching through a treasure hunt. Remember the pirates and the good guys looking for a treasure? It wasn't just a case of snap, there it is. You need to go twists and turns and check this out and check that out. You need to confirm, is this your family? Because they use their name over and over again. It's always common names they use. So, they're the sort of things that I can help you with. Right, back to the Story Hunter, back to this man. Now, his name was Obediah Ikin, and he was actually my 5 times great-grandfather. He arrived in Sydney and he worked for the military, so he's helped setting up. And what the government did back then is when they did something deserved or exceptional, they were granted blocks of land. So he was actually given a lot of block of land. He's also spent time over in Norfolk Island for 18 months or so. So I suppose he's come back to Sydney and he was granted a house block of land right in Sydney Cove as well. So his first block of land actually, he was purchased. This one wasn't granted to him. He bought it off somebody else who was granted to. Now, it was land at one of the points on Sydney Harbour. It was relatively rocky and it wasn't really very good for farming, which was the whole idea of being given the land to help farm it and create sustainable foods to keep Australia going. But unfortunately, this land didn't seem all that suitable, so he decided to sell it for a keg of rum. Must have been around the time of Rum Rebellion. But anyway, he sold this block of land for a keg of rum to John Macarthur. Now, John Macarthur is somebody that is known in Australian history because he went on and did wonderful things in regards to sheep and wool and farming, etc. So John Macarthur bought his block of land for a keg of rum, and John Macarthur actually named that land Pyrmont. Now, as I said earlier, it was a case of this land was relatively worthless. Since when has land been relatively worthless at Pyrmont? Certainly not these days. So that's the start of my ancestry. I go back to 2 years. Australia was 2 years old. So I'm really chuffed. I'm a dinky die Aussie, so I'm happy about that. Anyway, so Obediah Ikin did his rewards and worked hard. His wife worked hard at some stage. She had a bakery in Sydney as well. So they're very entrepreneurial. Obediah was also granted land, 160 acres near the Nepean River. He was granted land just a little bit south of where Penrith is today, 60 acres there. He had quite a fair bit of land as well. So he was actually a great ideal person to have, I suppose, as your great-grandfather or 5 times great-grandfather. Well, anyway, that's it for me with Obediah Ikin. Thank you very much for settling in, and here I am 5 generations later with a bit of a mix. So if you like my story, I do have plenty more. Website. If you're still with me, thank you so much for hanging in there. I look forward to seeing you next time, and in the meantime, you have a great day. Bye.